That's what I like to hear. Now, my name is Jojo, and this is Christian. Nobody likes him. And we work for a company called Conservation Ambassadors. We're actually based out of California, and what it is we do at our center is we give a home to rescued wildlife, either to animals that have been injured somehow and can't be set free back out into the wild. Those animals are sent to us at our center. Or other times we have a big problem, especially here in the United States. We have a problem with people trying to make pets out of wild animals. That never ever works. It's also against the law, and those animals are taken away and sent to our center as well. Then what we do is give these animals lots of love, lots of attention, and lots of food. And the animals that we can, we train to travel, going mostly to school groups, giving us a chance to share some amazing rescued wildlife up close and personal. Now, we've actually been partnering with Busch Gardens for the last 28 years, and we've gotten to witness some of the amazing conservation work they've been a part of. In fact, since 2003, the SeaWorld Busch Gardens Conservation Fund has provided over $18 million in grants to organizations worldwide to help protect some of our most critically endangered species. And since first opening their gates, Busch Gardens and SeaWorld have rescued over 40,000 animals. That definitely deserves a round of applause. That is honestly incredible. And they're some of the best at what they do. So when Busch Gardens asked us to come share some of our rescued wildlife with you, we were super excited to do so. And we brought some awesome animals for you guys to meet. And we're gonna start with one of our local friends.
Hello everybody, this is Pocket, our Virginia opossum. This is originally an East Coast animal, but they spread all across the United States while the railroad tracks being built. In fact, they were brought state to state as a food source. However, though, we came across Pocket here because one night a lady was driving home and she saw a cute little fur ball run across the road, and she had tried her best to stop, but she had accidentally hit that fur ball. So she got out of her car and saw that she had hit an opossum. However, though, this lady was really smart. She had done her research and she remembered reading somewhere that opossums are marsupial. And we know marsupials out the pouch, but what do they keep in that pouch? What do they keep in that pouch? There we go. So she got down real low. She bravely opened up that pouch, and what she found was 5 beautiful opossums. One of them being Pocket here. So she swooped them on up and took them to the nearest rehab center, where they had the best chance of getting back out in the wild, and they were doing great. They were eating, they're foraging for their own food, they're getting bigger and stronger, they start climbing, they're even safer from people, except for Pocket here, who they had found out was almost completely blind. And because of that, he was unable to release back out in the wild with his siblings. However, though, he found a home with us about 2 years ago. And I know 2 years, it might sound young, but these guys, they only live 3 to 4 years. But check this out, in those 3 to 4 years, a mama opossum, she'll have up to 50 babies. Yeah, if I had 50 kids, I'd probably go after 3 years too. Pocket here, though, he's an amazing animal. He's North America's only marsupial. And speaking of marsupials, our next guest comes from the land of marsupials, Australia. But let's give a hand to Pocket, our Virginia opossum.
Now this is Giggles, and he is the laughing kookaburra. Now this bird here is truly famous for his voice. See, they use the kookaburra's call in the background of every single movie that's ever had a jungle scene ever. It doesn't matter if they're showing an African, a South American, or an Asian jungle, they still use the kookaburra's call, even though he's from the exact opposite climate. He's from the grasslands of Australia, but they use that call of his because it does sound like it comes from the jungle. Do you guys want to hear it? Yeah. All right, you ready, buddy?
Wow.
I love it. Don't encourage him. Although he may be famous for that awesome voice of his. I think he should be famous for something else as well, because this bird here is an amazing hunter. He's actually the largest member of the kingfisher family, but he doesn't hunt fish. No, instead, he hunts mice, lizards, and snakes in the grasslands of Australia. I've even seen videos of these birds hunting thin snakes as long as 6 feet. They'll dive down with that specialized bill of theirs. They grab onto the snakes right behind the back of the head, then they'll whip them back and forth until it's like a limp noodle. Then he'll start to swallow, slowly swallowing and digesting that snake over 3 days while the rest of it hangs out the corner of his mouth. Sounds weird, works very well for the kookaburra though. Now, somebody here in the US fell in love with these birds. They found a way to purchase one online and brought one into their home. Only this person lived in an apartment complex. And see, kookaburra are known in Australia as the Outback alarm clock, because every single morning at the break of dawn, they'll let out that call, that Let's just say the neighbors weren't such a big fan of Giggles here, which is why he was sent to us at our center. Now, I do love this bird a lot, but being woken up by that call every single morning would be enough to have me pull my hair out, kind of like our next guest, but that was Giggles, the laughing kookaburra.
And this is Whizzer, our turkey vulture, and I gotta tell you, I absolutely love his big, beautiful bald head, but in 10 years, I really hope I don't look like him. So what this bird does is he wakes up every single morning and he spreads those wings out nice and wide. He'll start to take up that sun, and once he gets nice and warm, he takes flight in the sky and he starts getting to work. He starts sniffing for the dirtiest, most rotten, disgusting thing he can find. And once he finds something so gross and rotten, he's gonna dive on down and he's gonna make a meal out of it. Now I know we're thinking, it's pretty gross, right? He eats dead things, but if we're being honest ourselves, we all eat dead things. Nobody finds a cow to chase it down the road and chew on its leg. Only difference with Whizzer here is he can eat stuff with so much germs and bacteria, it would make us sick to our stomach. He works perfect as nature's cleanup crew. And that bald head of his is absolutely perfect for that diet. He's diving on down to rotten meat. He wants to keep that head nice and clean. But he's got one really weird trick to rinse off these